You have been carrying a small worry all day. It starts quiet and then grows louder. It sounds like a clock that will not stop ticking. You keep checking the time, hoping something will change. You tell yourself you will trust God. Still, a small panic springs up. You think maybe God is late. You wonder if you misunderstood how he works. Maybe you think his timing means things must move faster. Or maybe you think his plan must match your plan. Those thoughts feel heavy. They make your shoulders tighten. They make sleep seem far away. You are not alone in this feeling. People have waited for healings, doors to open, words to be spoken. People have waited for relationships to heal, for peace to come, and for clarity to arrive. You might feel ashamed to admit the waiting wears you down. You might fear that asking for answers is wrong. It is not wrong to be honest. Your honesty is a doorway to real prayer. Your struggle with timing often comes from one simple place. You are looking at your watch instead of looking at the one who holds time. You measure hope by minutes and events. God measures hope by faith and presence. It helps to remember that your timeline is not the final map. There is a wider view than the road you can see. There is a sky you miss when you stare at the clock. There is a gardener who tends trees slowly. There is a potter who shapes clay with careful hands. Waiting is not a punishment. Waiting is a classroom. Waiting is a workshop where you learn patience and trust. It can feel bitter at first, but the bitterness can turn into a teaching season. Holding that thought gently does not ignore your pain. It gives that pain room to teach you. And this kind of learning is slow and quiet. It often comes when the house is still. It often comes the night before a new morning. You might misunderstand God's silence as absence. You might believe silence means God is not listening. That is not the truth. God hears every sigh. He counts every tear. He stays close in ways you cannot measure. You do not always see him moving. That does not mean he is not moving. You may think you must hurry him along. You may try to fix things on your own. You may make choices out of fear. Those actions often create more regret than relief. It helps to imagine God like a loving friend. Eastman at a late train station. He knows which train you should catch. He will not let you get on a broken track. He waits with you until the right train arrives. It may feel slow now. The friend waits calmly, yet you can learn to breathe in that patience. You can come to your bed with your honest questions. You can bring your watch and your worry. You can lay them down and say, I do not understand, but I will lean on you. When you are ready, bring a simple breath and say, help me, God. Let that be the start of a slow conversation. Let your questions become gentle, like a child asking for a bedtime story. God will answer in ways you can hear. He will answer in ways you can feel. He often answers with presence before he answers with a sign. You do not need to rush him to prove his love. He is already proving it by staying near. You are learning to trust that presence, even in the dark. That trust is small now. It will grow with each quiet night you hand over to Him. Yes, Psalm 13 says. This psalm comes from someone who knew what it felt like to feel forgotten. The psalm speaks plainly about asking how long and feeling heavy in heart. It shows that honest questions can sit with faith, even when answers seem far. That kind of honest prayer is safe. You can bring your own how long to God tonight. He is ready to listen. He does not scold you for asking. You are not the first to find growth in pain. You may think pain only breaks things. Often, it also shapes things. Imagine a seed in the dirt. Pressure and dark soil do not harm the seed. The soil helps the seed send out roots. The pressure and the dark are part of a careful process. The seed becomes a plant because it endured the dark season. Growth rarely looks neat and fast. It looks messy and slow. It looks like small shifts and tiny new leaves. Growth happens when you do not give up. It happens when you breathe and keep moving. It happens when you practice hope. You learn to take small steps toward God each night. You do small things like saying one honest sentence to God. You do simple acts like writing one truth on a note. You lean into one encouraging voice. Each small habit is like water to the roots. It does not all happen at once. It builds. It grows quietly under the surface. Some nights you feel progress. Some nights you still feel stuck. Both kinds of nights are part of growing. Do not compare your timeline to anyone else's. Each life grows in its own rhythm. Some roots take longer to spread. Some trunks take time to gain strength. Your heart is in that slow work. It is being shaped by daily choices. You can let the hard days teach you something useful, yet you can let them teach you gentleness with yourself. You can let them teach you how to wait without losing courage. Waiting can become a practice of trust. You practice trust by remembering small truths. You remember that God kept you before. You remember gentle signs He has given you. You remember a time when a closed door became a better open door. Those memories are like bread for your soul. They feed your hope through the night. You will not always feel brave. That is okay. Bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is the choice to take one step despite fear. You can take one small step tonight. Ask God for the courage to sleep with hope. Ask for the courage to wake and try again tomorrow. Growth does not require perfect faith. It only requires a willingness to move. Imagine your heart like hands learning a new craft. At first, your fingers stumble. Gradually, they learn the pattern. Over time, your hands become steady and skilled. The practice of waiting is like that. You do not master waiting overnight. You practice it the way a musician practices a scale. Each repetition builds skill. This is not to say pain is good. Pain is not a gift you should welcome. Pain is a fact of life in a broken world. But God can turn pain toward growth. He can use the mess to make beauty. Psalm 119 says, This psalm is full of teaching about how trials can teach us deep lessons. It shows that struggling under God's instruction can lead to wiser living. Let the night be a teacher that teaches your heart. There is a simple truth you can carry into the dark. Faith is not the same as knowing every next step. Faith is choosing the next small step anyway. You do not need the full map to take one safe step. You only need one hand on God's hand. You can hold His hand in small, practical ways. You can pray a short sentence before sleep. You can trust one promise for the night. You can put your worries in a box and set them gently at His feet. Perseverance grows from small, steady acts. It is like warming your hands by a slow fire. You add one small stick of trust each night. Over time, the fire warms the whole room. Perseverance is not stubbornness. Perseverance is steady dependence. It is choosing to come back to God again and again. It is asking for help when you feel weak. It is letting God carry burdens you cannot carry well. The Bible gives simple commands about waiting well. They are not heavy burdens. They are gentle guides for a weary heart. They point you to safety and rest. Now, sometimes you will feel tired of trying. That is normal. When you are tired, allow small rest to refill you. Rest can be a form of obedience. Rest says, I trust you to work while I sleep. Rest trusts that God moves even when I am still. It helps to practice short prayers that are easy to remember. Say one line like, Lord, hold me through the night. Repeat it when worry comes. Keep it simple so your heart can speak it quietly. You will find your rhythm. You will find that a small prayer repeated becomes a strong habit. You will not need to be perfect. You only need to be willing. You will learn to wait without sinking into despair. You will learn that perseverance and patience are friends. They keep you steady when the wind blows. Psalm 27 says, This psalm speaks of waiting on the Lord with courage. It shows that the heart can learn to be strong while it waits. That strength comes from being near God, not from your own force. Let that truth settle in your bones tonight. There are gentle warnings to keep you on the right road. Impatience can push you toward quick fixes. Quick fixes look like shortcuts. They look like a one-night solution for a long-term problem. They often make things worse. They can hurt relationships and lead to regret. Sometimes impatience makes you say things you do not mean. Other times it makes you choose things that promise relief, but bring sorrow. Those are real dangers. They are not a sign that you are a bad person. They are a sign that you are human and tired. The best defense is to shift your focus. Fix your eyes on Jesus. Not on the quick result. Imagine a road with many signs. Now, some signs promise the fastest route. Others point to the true way. Jesus is like a steady lighthouse at the shore. When you focus on Him, you can avoid dangerous shortcuts. Looking to Jesus helps you make wise choices when night feels thick. You can glance at His face through prayer and scripture and gentle friends. You can choose small, steady acts that build good future days. These acts include asking for wise counsel before decisions. They include waiting one more day before speaking strong words. They include choosing rest over a hurried response. Choosing those things does not make you weak. It makes you strong in a calm way. It keeps your heart clear and focused. There is comfort in this. You do not need to carry big decisions alone. You can place them in God's hands and seek help. A useful picture is a gardener pruning a vine. The pruner removes what would harm future fruit. This can hurt in the moment, but the pruning leads to better fruit. Your wise pauses and gentle refusals are the pruning that protects your future. When you feel tempted to rush, remember to take a breath. Ask, what would love do now? Ask, what will bring peace tomorrow? These questions guide you back to the steady path. Psalm 1 says, this psalm warns about choosing wrong paths and invites you to delight in God's instruction. It compares the person who trusts God to a tree planted by streams, steady and fruitful. Keep that picture tonight. Look to Jesus like the branch looks to the vine. Let him guide your decisions and steady your heart. You are in a refining season, even if it does not feel good. Refining is a process that clears away what is weak. It is not meant to shame you. It is meant to purify what will last. Think of refining like metal in a fire. Heat brings impurities to the surface. The worker watches and removes those flaws. What remains is stronger. God's refining often looks like repeated small trials. Those trials reveal what you truly trust. They also show what habits are not helpful. The refining process can feel like being stretched. It can feel like hidden shaping that you do not understand. But every good craftsman knows the process. The master potter presses softly, turns, and shapes. The clay is not punished. It is formed into something useful and beautiful. God does this gently. He gives exams of character, not punishment without purpose. He allows seasons where you feel tested. In those seasons, you may find new courage. You may find hidden kindness. Yet you may learn to pray in ways you never knew. Hope is the steady light through this work. Hope says that pain has meaning when God is present. Hope trusts that the refining process has a plan for good. Your job is not to control the fire. Your job is to stay present to the one who refines. You can bring simple requests like, help me to trust the work. Help me to stay soft when the heat hurts. Help me to see what needs to change. You can ask God to give patience for the process. You do not have to understand every detail. You can ask for eyes to see the small gifts inside the trial. These gifts might be new compassion for others. They might be a clearer sense of purpose. They might be a deeper trust that keeps you steady. God uses refining so you can hold his purposes more fully. He is not trying to break you. Yet he is trying to make you more whole. This work is never cold or distant. It is tender like a parent teaching a child. It is careful, like a gardener pruning with love. Even when it feels hard, you are safe. You are being prepared for a richer, brighter life. Psalm 66 says, this psalm speaks about being tested and refined, like silver in fire. It shows that God's testing has the purpose of making praise and trust grow. Let that hope rest with you tonight. There is a promise waiting for your rest. You are invited to lie down and receive peace. You do not need to carry your whole problem into the dark. You can hand it to God, piece by piece. Imagine placing those pieces in His strong hands like letters put into a mailbox. They are safe there. They will be read and answered in God's time. The promise is not always immediate change. The promise is His presence and final care. You will not walk this night alone. You have a guide who knows the way before you. You have a shepherd who walks beside you through valleys and sleepless hours. You can trust His lead. There is a reward for faithful waiting. Rewards are not always flashy. Often they are gentle gifts. They come as restored peace, wiser choices, or clearer relationships. They come as mornings when your heart is lighter. They come as new chances that fit better than the old dreams. There are also everlasting promises. God promises to be with you until the end of the age. That wide promise holds your small nights. It includes both comfort and justice and final healing. You will not miss out if things feel slow. You are moving toward a future hand in hand with your Maker. In the quiet of the night, simple truths can steady you. Close your eyes and imagine a safe house with warm light inside. You are invited into that house. You are welcomed even with your messy doubts. Breathe in comfort. Breathe out fear. Lay your head on the pillow of His care. You can speak a short night prayer now, if you would like. Say, Lord, I am tired of clocks and pushes. Help me trust your timing tonight. Help me sleep in your presence. Give me courage to wait with hope. Keep me from the quick choices born of fear. Teach me to choose the steady road. Refine my heart with patience and love. Prepare me for the good things you are making. Fill my dreams with your gentle guidance. Guard my mind from heavy regrets and lighten my heart. I give you my watch and my worry. Hold them and work with them for good. Let your peace, which is steadier than any clock, settle on me. Psalm 23 says, this psalm paints God as a shepherd who walks with us through every valley. It promises rest, guidance, and presence. Take that promise into your sleep. You are safe. You are cared for. You are loved. Sleep now and wake in the morning with a hand ready to guide your next small step. Amen.